So it's finally time to admit that some things around here really do need to change. It's time for Video for Bosses to go through a reload. So for those of you that might be new to my channel, hi, hello, my name is Janine, and I'm really passionate about helping content creators and business owners, small business owners, show up and use video with confidence on social media. Admittedly, this channel has gone through quite an evolution since I launched it. When I first launched this channel, it was all about Janine Inspires and inspiring women to show up. It was all about the motivation. And now here we are, completely in a different place. I pretty much just want to share with you the journey that I have been on recently with regards to my channel. So to give you a little bit of context, a little bit of a backstory. Some of you may know that last year I made a decision in October to really start to take my YouTube channel seriously. I have been, or had been until that point, pretty hit and miss in terms of my content, how consistent I was with the channel. I was throwing mud at the wall, so to speak, and hoping that it would stick. And my channel was stagnant. It was not growing. And so I decided that I wanted to challenge myself to reach 1,000 subscribers after being stuck at the 800 mark, or round about that mark anyway. So I went on a 100 days of live streaming. I showed up on YouTube for 100 consecutive days, bringing what I thought was value to the community. And it was valuable because I grew and built the community, and I hit 1,000 subscribers I think just after, maybe about a few days after completing the 100 days. And it was a beautiful journey. I enjoyed it. I loved meeting new people. I loved reconnecting with my YouTube community as well. Those who were OGs had subscribed back in the day and started to see faces, familiar faces popping back up. So I did that, and I was really happy with what I was able to accomplish. And I felt, I really believed, like Janine really believed. I believed at the time that that was it. That was the benchmark, the way forward with YouTube. It felt effortless for me to show up. I proved to myself that I understood optimization and all of that good stuff. And I thought, you know what? Hey, I can just live stream and it's easy. It's what I do. I've been doing it for years. I know it. It's like water off a duck's back, like the back of my hand. I can live stream like a boss. And so I thought that, I would continue on with that. And so I did. However, I knew that I needed to incorporate video on demand as well. I needed to be able to talk to the community who weren't necessarily bothered about live streaming, and those who may have stumbled across my content. I wanted them to feel like, hey, this was the place to be. And people who are new to me aren't necessarily going to want to sit through 20 plus minutes of live streaming content. So I dipped my toe in the video on demand field and I started uploading video on demand content. And just a moment of transparency, I struggled mentally with creating video on demand content. It felt a lot harder to me as opposed to live streaming. And so I was thinking, oh, Janine, what's the point of you taking the time to pre-record this video, go through all this stress of your outtakes, making the mistakes, having to start again, forgetting where you are in your point. There was many times I'd be sitting there, what did I just say? I found that really, really frustrating. And so when I wasn't getting the results I wanted from my video on demand, pre-recorded content, I thought, I'm not going to do this. Let me just stick with live streaming. But in that back and forth between live streaming, video on demand, what am I posting? When am I posting? Changing my days, taking a break. There was a lot of back and forth and discombobulation for my channel. And it was the first time in months where I saw a decline in all of my stats across my channel. So along with low views on my video on demand content, as well as my channel not doing as well as it was, feeling a sense of displacement because I had I had got it with the live streaming, and now I'm like, what am I doing? It just meant that I felt like I didn't really want to show up as much. And so I wasn't showing up. Now, to just give you a little bit more context before I share with you some of the things that I've decided about the Video for Bosses channel, is that I actually got a recent full channel review from my mentor, Nick Nimin. I call him my mentor because he is. And it was really an insightful review of my channel. And I absolutely loved the feedback that I got. It was so rich in value and action points that weren't overly complicated, things that I could put in place immediately. But when I actually looked at all the notes, the feedback from the review, I realized there was actually quite an extensive list of things that Janine needed to work on, that I needed to fix, essentially. And so at first I was elated, euphoric, really happy. Yes, thank you, Nick did my channel. Get in there, my son. And then I had that time to ponder, and guess what? Self-doubt, negative self-talk, and all of that nonsense kicked in. And I was like, oh my goodness, I've been doing this all wrong. I've just wasted so much time. But then I had some time to think about it, and I've made some decisions that I want to share with you. And there's still a lot of work to do. There's more things that I want to incorporate, but this is where I'm at right now. So here are some of the changes that I want to actually make with immediate effect when I come back after my break. So number one, it's about having a clear message of what the channel offers. One of the things that was shared in my feedback was the fact that whilst my channel name is Video for Bosses, it doesn't match the value proposition of the content of the channel. The channel is all about focusing on helping you build your brand with live video. So Video for Bosses is general. It's not just live streaming, it's video on demand. It's short form video content as well as live streaming. So there was that disconnect. So I've decided to get really clear on the channel focus going forward in terms of the messaging and the value of the channel. So I have updated and changed my banner. I've made a few tweaks to it. It's not a complete change, but it's a little bit of an overhaul that now I believe will clearly demonstrate the what's in it for the community and those who discover my channel. The next update for my channel is going to be creating both live stream and video on demand content. I have finally got the mental focus, made the decision to share not just live streaming, because that's really easy for me to do. It's about taking the harder, tougher, more challenging road so that my content caters for both those who love live streaming and those who like video on demand. It's about creating choice, variety. It's the spice of life, they say. The third thing is grouping content topics so that there is consistency. It's about having a consistent flow. One of the things that Nick said, I'm chuckling, but it's not even funny, but hey ho, I'm smiling, crying on the inside, smiling on the outside. It was noted that my content didn't seem to have a natural flow and consistency in the topics. So I thought, okay, that's a valid point. Let's get super clear. And I think, if I'm being honest, from doing the 100 days of live streaming, one of the questions that my community members asked me during the 100 days was if I had actually pre-planned the 100 days of content. I didn't plan the content. So what I'm saying essentially now is that it was more or less a day-by-day decision of what I was going to actually talk about, because it was 100 days. That's 100 pieces of content. So I think for me, what's happened is that mentality stuck a little bit in terms of what do I want to talk about this week? Okay, this week I'll talk about this specific thing. And again, it's kind of a bit discombobulated in terms of the channel value proposition. So I am committed to keeping the content in themes, in content buckets. If I'm talking about TikTok, I'm going to share content about TikTok. If I'm talking about Instagram, we're going to do a series about Instagram, Facebook, and so forth. And then I want to dive in with different aspects of video, making sure it's very clear that when someone comes to my channel, when you come to my channel, that there's a flow for what I offer. And that way you're probably going to want to watch more. The next thing is the removal of the visual distractions. What do I mean by that? I've been trying my very best to make my content visually appealing, creating an experience with my content, personality, etc., conversations with the community, and all of that good stuff. But I was actually adding way too many bells and whistles. So I'm going to be focusing on making my content a lot more slick and clean so that you aren't distracted by all the other things that are going on the screen, and just pay attention. Keep focused on the old content. So the next thing is keeping the channel name Video for Bosses. I mentioned that earlier on. The channel name is not changing. It's now about focusing on making the value proposition marry up with the channel name, because Video for Bosses is my handle across social media. I love it. It's what I do. And so it makes sense for it to remain as such, but just making sure that when new people come to my channel, that it's very clear about what this channel is all about. My content will be covering video across the platform. So I mentioned that earlier on, that it's really important for the Video for Bosses brand and channel to be talking about different aspects of video. But I need to know from you guys what specifically you want to learn, what platforms, different types of video you would like me to dial in on in terms of my content, whether it is live streaming, whether it is video on demand, whether it is learning TikTok, whatever it might be. I want you guys to share with me, because it's all about creating more of what you want to see here on the Video for Bosses channel. So essentially, what is next? It's going to be 2 weekly uploads, new upload time, live and video on demand, topics covering different aspects of video, because I know you want to see all of the yummy goodness, but still keeping it really specific and laser focused. So whilst I wait for you to share with me what type of video you would like to see me create on this channel, I'm going to signpost you to watch this video where I talk about how I grew to 1,000 followers on TikTok in 60 days. And I will see you on the next video.